Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad development stream. Today we're going to be continuing with the Java parser. Hello Alex, welcome to the stream. Hello Meepy the Spider, welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and get started. I should probably turn my light on. Voila. Okay, so last time we tried to fix a bunch of parsing errors whilst trying to parse the parser. However, we got stuck here at this line, which is why we wrote this to do. So we were unable to parse this, and I don't know why. Let's just give it a run and see what happens so we remember exactly where we got to. I think that'd be a good start, and then we can go from there. So we'll just give this a second. Okay, so if we now have a look at the output, okay, I also need to collapse some of this. I've just been working a little bit on actual railroad, just trying to redo some of the UI, just make things look a little bit better until we have someone who can come through and actually be a designer for us. So I've just been cleaning a little bit of that up, but we're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be continuing with the Java parser. Hopefully just make some good progress. Obviously we're not going to get it done anytime soon. This is going to probably be a very long project, and at some point it will have to, we're not going to be able to stream this forever. We're going to have to start moving into other things at some point, but until then let's try and figure out what the hell is happening. So it successfully seems to have passed the entire thing in terms of the entire of this. So that was successful. If we have a look here, what do we have? So this is a local variable declaration. So that is this one, and that is a class body declaration. That is hopefully called declaration, and that is initialized to a method invocation of try parse, which takes in a lambda expression, which has a $sign parameter. Okay, that is inferred, of course. And then the body of that is an expression statement, which is a method invocation. You can have a look here. Correct, that is a method invocation of parse class body declaration, and that takes in a conditional, which is just a ternary statement. The condition is type is instance of class or interface type reference, which is a pattern, so that is called class or interface type reference, of course. If we look here, that is indeed the case. And then the true case is just a bunch of method invocations, so we can skip those because those will be fine. We know those work fine. And then in the false case, that's just null. That is correct. And then the next parameter is just false, which is a Boolean literal. So that was passed correctly. And I don't think the issue would be on this line right here. I don't see this being an issue because that's just a normal if statement. We know those work. So the issue is either here or here. I don't imagine it being here. It's possible, but unlikely. It could, in theory, be here, but I think that's also unlikely. It could be here because of the type diamond, but we fixed that last time, so that shouldn't be an issue anymore. I think the most probable is it being here. Now, as for why, I don't know. I thought we've tested all of these independently. So we know, for example, local variable declaration, we know that works. We know method calls work. We know lambdas work. We know ternary statements work. We know instance of works, and it works with pattern expressions. We know a bunch of method calls chained together work. We know null literals work, and we know Boolean literals work. So we know everything works independently, and that is correct. Everything has worked. It just hasn't been able to go past that, which is what's a little bit concerning to me. We know it can't be this here. It can't be that. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it could be, but I think that's highly improbable because we must have an if statement somewhere else before line 800, right? That's just a perfectly reasonable assumption. How many lines is this file again? So 2,774. Okay. Where were we? We were here somewhere, right? Where were we? Was it like 7? It was like, yeah, here. Okay. Okay, so in that case, maybe the best thing to do is to try and find a local variable declaration where the name of the variable is called declaration, because I imagine we don't have a huge amount of those before this. I would imagine that to be the case. If we go declaration equals, that is actually the first one. So that should be, I think, pretty easy to find. So if we look for parse local variable declaration statement, here we go. We can basically plonk a breakpoint here, and we can put the condition to be name dot parts dot get first. Okay, well, we actually are going to have to say name dot parts is not empty, and name dot parts dot get first dot equals declaration. And doing that should get us to exactly where we need to be. So let's try this first and see what happens. Okay, so we can correctly see that the name is hopefully declaration, and the type is a class or interface, which has hopefully called class or class body declaration. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so then we need to just, I guess, step into parse variable declarator. So let's go into there. Okay. The other thing we can do is look at the look ahead buffer, actually. Let's do that real quick. So we have equals, identifier, open parenthesis, identifier, arrow, identifier, open parenthesis, identifier, instance of, identifier, question mark, identifier, dot identifier, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, dot identifier, blah, 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 colon, null, comma, boolean, close, close, semicolon. That all looks fine. The other thing we can look at is possibly the diagnostics. So it could be because of this issue here, which we haven't resolved yet, and I don't know exactly what's causing it. It could be caused by that. You can see we have actually hit 4 errors, basically, and the maximum we've allowed for is 5. So it's possible we are erroring here somewhere, and then that stops it from passing any further? Maybe? I guess? So let's do a little bit of stepping in. So we I'm pretty sure lambda headers should be fine. But regardless, it doesn't start with a lambda header, it starts with a method call. So let's step into here, and we're going to have to go down all the way to primary and try and find method calls. I opened the stream to ask if I could work on parsing. It seems I'm too late. Yes, you are a little bit too late. We are like, how many streams deep? Let's have a look. We can actually see exactly how many streams I've done on parsing. It's quite a lot. When was the first one? About 2 months ago. So the first parser was 2 months ago. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this is the 12th stream on the parser. But if we include Lexa as well, then that is 13. We only did 1 stream on the Lexa? Huh, I guess that is probably true. The Lexa didn't take very long. I guess 1.5, because... No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Oh, no, that is right, because I actually did a lot of the Lexa off stream. So that was probably, I guess, 2.5 streams of the Lexa. And then... And yeah, and then the parser has been... What did I say? 12? 13? 12.5? Something like that. So yeah, you are unfortunately a little bit late to that. Are there any big outstanding features I can look at? That is a good question. I can have a look at the GitHub projects and we can see if there's anything major. The only thing I can think of, and it is kind of the biggest thing that can be done that doesn't require the parser, and that is... Where is it? It's in here somewhere. Run configurations, which is quite a complex one, unfortunately. Well, somewhat complex. It's actually not hard and also complex at the exact same time. So it is this issue right here. Basically, just run configurations. So, you know, in IntelliJ, for example, you have Gradle configurations, you have Java configurations, you can edit configurations, make new configurations, that kind of thing. That is kind of one of the big things. It would be great to have that. The only problem with that is we don't obviously have a way to like view the structure of the project. So what you wouldn't be able to do is automatically figure out a main class. Right now that would be impossible because we don't have infrastructure for that. We don't even have infrastructure to be able to select a class. So you would actually have to just type that in. I don't know exactly how that would work. Wait, I'm a newbie. How did you get the source code or whatever it is? The source code of what? The source code of Railroad? What is parsing? Okay, okay. Basically, I'm just gonna link you to the document I wrote. Because it took me hours to write it, so it's a good job I wrote it because I can just link people to it. Where is it? I basically wrote about how all of this works, or not like in depth how each of these methods work or anything, but just an overall kind of how the parser, Lexa, that kind of thing works. Where is it? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. I am blind. There you go. I've linked that in chat. And that basically explains all of this. So you can understand how the Alexa works, what tokens are, you can understand the parser, the AST, and then semantic analysis, symbol tables, scopes, the type system, diagnostics, inspections, incremental parsing, cross-file relationships. We haven't done all of that yet, of course. We've only got up to the AST, and then obviously next is going to be semantic analysis. But we need to finish the parser first, unfortunately. But yes, back to run configurations. You should be able to do a lot of it, I believe. So, like, just being able to type in these fields. We don't have a way to, like, discover JDKs yet. That is something that will probably be needed. Maybe. So you could do that too. I haven't even added that as a GitHub issue yet. But that is something that will need to be done as well. New here, what is an IDE and what are you creating? Okay, you really are new here if you don't know what an IDE is. An IDE, I don't know how you've even found this if you don't know what an IDE is, but regardless, an IDE is an integrated development environment. So IntelliJ is an IDE. VS Code is kind of an IDE. I didn't mean to run that again. That might have fucked everything up. Ah, well. It's fine. What else is an IDE? There's lots of IDEs. Eclipse, NetBeans, any JetBrains thing, you know, Rider, Sea Lion, the other ones, PyCharm. That is a lot of concepts to fit inside a dumb Python code. I made a calculator. Yeah, this is like a very complex thing, you know. Most people probably wouldn't understand this, but I tried to make the document that I linked as simple as possible, without going like a little too far into it. I think it should be understandable without a huge amount of knowledge, but obviously you're not going to remember everything that's in it. But yes, regardless, as I was saying to Sci4, this, yeah, run configuration should be doable. We just need a way to figure out JDK scanning, I guess. I don't know if you would scan for JDKs or have to add them manually, but something like that needs to exist as well. So you can do either or both. You can do both if you want, but both will need to be done at some point. There's probably other things as well. After the stream, I can try and find you some other things if you want. Because there's lots to do, of course. As you can imagine, with an IDE, there are millions of things to do. What is your skincare routine? Okay, no one has ever asked me that in my entire life. That is a crazy question. I do not have a skincare routine, to answer that simply. I literally just don't have one. So that is an interesting question, I suppose. A new one. I guess there's always a first for everything. Okay, so let's try and figure this out. Okay, so we're gonna have to go all the way down to primaries, basically. I'm sure you've 100% got like, but I do compilers at university. I've done a bunch on parsing and semantic checks if you have questions. That is great. That's actually very good. I made a programming language for my final year project at university. So I do kind of know quite a bit about it, but I'm not an expert. I never took any courses on it or anything. I just kind of figured it out. So I'm doing this after having done that, so I kind of know roughly what I'm doing, I think. But yeah, obviously rewriting a parser for Java is not the easiest thing in the world, but it's also, in a way, not the hardest thing in the world. It's just going to be a lot of figuring out nuances, at least at the moment. And right now, it's fixing weird bugs. And I don't know how this one has even come to be, but we'll figure it out. So here we go. We matched an identifier. That's what I was looking for. We get the name, and then we should match the open parenthesis. That should be correct. Yes. Okay. If we look in the look ahead, what is next? Identifier and arrow. So it should pick up, it found a lambda. Okay. Let's see. So we pass an argument. Here we go. It should find the... Oh, pardon me. It should find the lambda. Hopefully... Okay, we're trying to pass the lambda. What is the look ahead at now? Okay, there's definitely something wrong with the look ahead. We're gonna have to come back to that at some point. I genuinely don't know what's happened to it. It has just become massive. The entire program has popped into the look ahead buffer, which, you know, isn't great, of course, because that massively destroys performance. So we need to figure that out at some point. But for now, we're just going to get things to work, and then we'll come back to it. So, okay, so it's creating the parameter, and then expects an arrow. That should be correct. Yes, that is correct. Then it passes a... Oh. Aha. It passes a statement. That's the issue. Because statements have to have a semicolon after them. Now, a statement is technically correct because it could be a block, which is a statement. Fundamentally, it is a statement. So it's basically either a block or an expression statement. Now, how do we solve this is a lovely question. I would say the best thing to do, let's step into it. You can see down... Oh no, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't, actually. Never mind. That might not be the issue. What is the next thing it finds? Identifier. Okay. Are you British? Yes, I am British. Okay. Let's look for identifier. Where are you? Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Should be... Not that. It shouldn't be that. Hopefully it's not that. Okay, good. That's fine then. So it's an expression statement, which is correct. Okay, so we then pass the expression. Aha! Found it. Here. It expects a semicolon, which is not correct at all. So that's interesting, actually. Why does it do that? I don't know, to answer your question. I say your question. No one asked it, but it's my question. So, now, interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Why did I choose to do that? Okay. I think what we can do is okay, yes, what we can do, because if we look at where parse statement is called, there's no semicolons being required anywhere where those are called, but we can pass a boolean into here, which will be require semicolon, and then basically we can have this. So we can do dot var, which is the expression statement. Then we can say if require semicolon, then we can expect a semicolon, which should work. And then that does mean we have to fix every single place where that is called. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So in a lambda expression, we can put false because we don't want a semicolon there. Let's see, where else is this called? Yeah, that's also false. And then what's this one? That's also false. Okay, then we can go down to here. So this is in parse block, so that should be true. That does require one. Then let's go to the next one. Labeled statement. I'm trying to think. Does a labeled statement require a semicolon? No, I don't think it does. I mean, maybe. I guess it could. Is the issue? I'm gonna say no, it doesn't. But we might have to come back to that. Confirm whether semicolon is required here. Is this IDE similar to MC Creator or something more advanced? We are not aiming. I meant to say this in the video I released, but we are, to be clear, we are not aiming for MC Creator by any means. We don't want MC Creator. Oh, this is an interesting one because here you actually could have a semicolon, but you don't require a semicolon. So what we can do here is, because think about an enhanced for statement, right? If you're doing for int A in B, I think you can, not in, of course, in B like that, I think you can have semicolons. Can you? Now that I say it, I don't think you can, actually. So, that's fine then. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're aiming for like an actual IDE. So more along the lines of IntelliJ than MC Creator. To be clear, we're not aiming for IntelliJ either, but more along the lines of IntelliJ. Statement body is equal past statement. Ooh, that's an interesting one, because technically yes, but also could be no. Oh, that is an interesting one, huh? Well, if it's a block statement, then no. So we can do it based on that, right? If body is instance of a block statement, then we don't care about them. If it's not a block statement, then we do want to require a semicolon. So expect semicolon. With Java code or custom language? Yes, we are doing it for Java. Or Kotlin, or maybe Groovy in the future as well. But for now, Java, yes. Maybe Scala as well. Not for me, personally. I would never use Scala, but some people. I have one person in mind. I'm not going to say names. But some people like Scala for some weird reason. I think the same is true here. Do while the same is also true. No, actually, this you can't have. Oh well, actually, you can. Now that I think about it, you can. Once again, this needs to be then. If it's a block statement, then we don't care. Yeah. Well, this is an interesting one. Because if it's a block statement, we actually want to just consume the semicolons. Okay, I think we're going to have a lot of issues where people are putting random semicolons in places. Right? Because Java kind of lets you just put semicolons wherever you want. To an extent, right? This is completely valid Java, as stupid and dumb as it looks. That's probably going to cause us some issues later on, because I don't think I'm really handling that correctly. But we'll come back to it because it's not that important. This is for switch rules. I think in switch rule, it's the same again, really. Yeah, it's the same again. Like, if it's not a body statement, if it's not a block statement, then we need to expect a semicolon. But the thing is, you can have multiple semicolons. So, you know, you can have, like, yeah, it's a matter of, like, for example, you can have... How do I even demonstrate this? Like, if you have a for I loop, right, I is less than 10, you can have a block statement like this, in which case semicolons don't matter. You can put as many here as you want. But you could also just do that, even, or you could obviously put something here, which would then require a semicolon. But the problem is that's not always the case, because if it's for a lambda, right? If you have a lambda, like supplier of, I don't know, string, my supplier. Okay, well, actually, in this case, you do have one. But if you're calling, how do I even demonstrate this? Okay, for example, try parse, right? If I call try parse, I have a lambda here, which can do a thing. And this is a statement, technically, right? But it doesn't have a semicolon. And in fact, it can't have a semicolon, because that doesn't work. But it could also have like a block statement, right? Like this, right? Maybe I just need to just redo lambdas and say that lambdas can either be a block statement or an expression. Unless I make a block an expression. Maybe a block statement has a block inside of it. But the problem is it requires a list of... Yeah, because that's a lambda body. Oh, that's complicated. We are going to have to come back to this at some point. because people are going to write programs that have stray lambdas, and that kind of needs to be fixable. But okay, for now, let's just do all of this. False. Okay. And that's all of them. So let's try run that and see what happens now. See if that fixes it or not. It has, right? No, that's actually way worse. We're now down to 6,400 lines. Previously we were at about, I think, about 12,000, right? Bugger. Yeah, we've broken that now. Because of parse literal. Because of return. So we find return parse literal. Because of here, apparently. Huh. Wait, what? Why not? Parse if statement. Let me have a look. This is the one we just did, actually. So if then branch is not instance of a block statement, then it should expect a semicolon. That should be true. So why didn't that work? Unless the only unless case is maybe return statements already do that. I bet they do, don't they? I bet they friggin' do. I bet if we look at parse return statement, expect semicolon. Yeah. So it's technically fixable if I remove this. That's bugger. This is really complicated. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about this wrong, right? Maybe I'm doing this the wrong way around. I think I am, actually. I think I'm doing this the wrong way around. Let's undo everything we've just done, hopefully. Hopefully my undo history is large enough. I actually don't know how large it is, so this might not work. Please work, though. Ah, no! It's not large enough. Okay. That's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that and then basically fix all the errors. Yeah, okay, so what I can do is inline that real quick. Okay, then I just need to go through and fix all of the errors. So if we look first of all here, actually, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna go to GitHub, and because we haven't made any other changes, we can just yeet all of these changes basically. So if we discard, boom, 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 boom. Okay, all of you just go away, go away. Okay, all of them. Leave this one because this is our to do. If I was just okay. So what if we look at lambdas, right? So if we look at parse lambda, right? Wait, am I thinking about this correctly? Yeah, this is the problem, right? What we could do, and this is really hacky, but it would work. No, that actually wouldn't work. I was thinking what we do is we create a marker and then we pass this and then roll back. But the problem with that is it would still need to pass the statement to move forwards enough, which it wouldn't be able to do if we roll it back. Maybe we do need to pass an expression. I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating again, and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what it thinks I should do. I already have a chat with it somewhere about parsers. I just gotta find it. I don't see it actually. No. No. This one. Okay, I found it. Okay. So, what do I want to ask it? I want to know how should lambdas be parsed? Is really the question, right? Because currently they pass statements, but the other option is they pass expressions, which is kind of fine. It just means that a block has to become an expression, which I think is impossible. Because that doesn't make sense. A block can't be an expression. Or is it? I'm going to have to ask it. Okay. I guess I can show you guys what I'm asking it as well. Currently I'm passing a statement as the lambda body, but this causes issues because statement often require a semicolon afterwards. Should I instead try and pass an expression and make it so that a block can also be an expression? Let's see. See what it says. Actually, what we can also do, whilst that's running, actually, I'm going to do some way of monitor. I'm going to look up the JLS, and I'm going to see how it defines a lambda Because if a lambda body... Yeah, so it's either an expression or a block. But it's not an expression statement or a block. So what is a block? I mean, a block is a list of statements, right? What are you saying? Short answer, don't make block a general expression. A Java lambda body is either an expression or a block. Pass it like that. After, yeah, okay. Lambda body dot block, lambda body dot expression. So what should a lambda body look like? Is kind of the big question, because if it can be a block or a... that's what it recommends. Yeah. Okay. I'm a little late to the party. Can you explain in what part of the project you are exactly? Right now, we are working on the parser for parsing Java code, which is part of the entire, like, what I'm calling the SST, which is a semantic syntax tree. So if you want to read more about those, I'm not going to go through that right now because it's kind of complicated, but I have linked in chat the related thing regarding what that is, which you can read up on. That's basically what we're working on right now. And we are kind of close to being done, I believe. We just need to make it so here a lambda body... Yeah, so right now, if we look at lambda body, you can see it's a block statement or an expression statement. So what I need to do is I need to undo that, so that's not the case. Like that. And then instead, this needs to be a record. It needs to be a class... final class, and this needs to have a private final boolean is expression body, and then it will have a private... Yeah, basically we could do that maybe. Is it yeah, that's fine. We can do it like this though. That can be a getter. Actually, this can be a getter too. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then we can override the methods. These ones. Now, the only problem is we don't have an AST kind. So, or do we? No, we don't. No, we don't. We'll have to do that in a second then. Well, I guess actually no, because the kind is basically what it is, right? So, oh no, I guess it's not. Yeah, okay, that does actually need to be a thing. We also need a span, private final span. This needs to be implement as well, by the way. And this needs to take in a span. And it's not span, is equal span. I think I did JDK detection already? Damn, bro. There's no way you've done that already. Really? Kind of crazy. If so, if you have done that already, that is... I mean, I guess you just look for the common places, but like, how do you determine if it's JDK or not. That's very interesting, if you've done that already. Names and miscellaneous. I guess it goes in here. Lambda body. Okay. Boom. And then we just need to make this in here. So miscellaneous is this one. Oh no, I guess it's this one. It should be here really. Visit lambda body. There you go. Yeah, I need to change that so it's not there and it's actually here. Okay, like that. And then I just look for directories in Java home path and some common directories, then checked if bin java or bin java.exe exists depending. Damn. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that part would be too hard. How you need to determine though what version of Java it is, right? Because like for IntelliJ, when you when you select it, it tells you what version of Java it is. So I guess you need to do that. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that. I'm not sure, actually. Probably. Yeah, I guess that works, yeah. That does actually work, doesn't it? What I wanted to create though is just some static methods. So I can do, for example, lambda body expression, which just takes in expression. List of no, what? No. Why have you done that? Don't do that. Okay, and then also block as well, which this needs to be a block statement like that. Okay. So then what I need to do is in here. Yeah, this just doesn't need to exist. I need to say if next is any a open brace, then we know it's a block statement. So let's have lambda body. If it's an open brace, then it's is equal to it's equal to lambda body dot block, which is going to pass in. Ooh. I guess this needs to be like this then. Pass block dot var, which is the block statement. Then it's going to span from block statement and the block statement, and then in here we do expression like that. Boom. Perfect. Okay, what is this? Oh yeah, this just needs to be the exact same thing. What I could do, actually, because those are going to be exactly the same. So is this one. What I can do is I can extract that into a method. Hopefully. Extract method. Pass lambda body. Replace. like that. Okay, boom. And then that's just now its own method in here. Even simpler actually, I can just do return like that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and return that. Doesn't even have to be in an else statement as well, so it can be even simpler. If the next is an open brace, then it's a block, so we pass a block statement, else we just pass an expression. Nice and shrimple. And I think that's it. So if we now go ahead and run this, let's see what happens, and hopefully we can get rid of this to do. Would be ideal if possible. So oh, we're so much further. We're so much. Are we at? We might be at the end. We're at 46,102 lines. Maybe we're at the end? Surely we're at the end now, right? We have to be. I guess we don't have to be. Let's get rid of that to do though, real quick. I've got to find it again now. There it is. Because we know that's fine. And let's also get rid of the breakpoint that we added, which I'm going to struggle to find, but it's got to be here somewhere. I didn't expect it to get that far, by the way, guys. I'm actually kind of mind blown that it managed to get that far. Let's look at the very end and see. I think it's done it. So we're looking for a return statement of a span between node.span current span. So return statement, span between node.span and current span. I believe we have just passed the Java parser using the Java parser. Which is kind of crazy to even say, because that doesn't make any sense. But yes, I think we're done. I mean, I say we're done, we're not done, because I suspect that there are issues in here. It's just going to be really hard to find them, is kind of the problem, right? Like, I don't want to read 46,000 lines of this particularly. And it's not like I can even give it to AI because it's way too large. Right, how many characters is this? 2 million characters. Yeah, 2,047,090 characters. That is crazy. That is insane. If we look at how I wonder how large this file is, like in terms of in size. Hopefully we're done though. I really want to be done because I want to move on to semantic analysis, which unfortunately is going to be really complicated. It's going to be so much more complicated than the parser. I never actually got to semantic analysis with my programming language that I was developing, so it's going to be a little bit new for me. Well, I did get to it, but I didn't really get far with it. I kind of just got the very basics of it. And I couldn't really do a proper type system, so it wasn't that great. This file is 2 megabytes, which is kind of crazy. Which actually takes up like more space than most of the entire project. If I'm looking at sizes, right, you guys can see this. If we look at sizes here, right, all of this, you know, this is only like 4 megabytes, 1.5, 2.2 megabytes. this is 2 megabytes. My railroad is only 14.8 megabytes total. I mean, that's without all of the build stuff. So if I go into here, we don't have like any of the installer stuff. That's like 2 gigs or something. That's quite big, but that's pretty good, eh? Anyways, right. So I'm gonna consider that done, at least for now. It's not done. I know it's not done. There are issues. I'm certain there are issues. There's no way this is a perfect Java parser. It just isn't. But we can try and now move on to semantic analysis and just kind of see what happens, I suppose, right? I don't see why not, right? Should we do it? I think let's do it. Let's try and move on to semantic analysis. So, this is where things get really complicated. I'm going to commit what we have real quick because things are about to get really, really complicated. So, I hope you guys are buckled in. Let's... So, let's write a commit here. Java parser can now parse the Java parser. So, commit that. Get that done, out of the way. Okay, so we're going to need to build a little bit of infrastructure now. So let's write a new package and go to semantic analysis. Is there a way to shorten that down? I could call it SA, but that's a little bit confusing because no one ever does that. That's kind of silly. I think semantic analysis is fine. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned of is this package is getting very deep. But I guess it's fine. You know, if we look at like SST testing, it's dev.railroad.id. I guess that one's not that bad. But if we go into like AST, you know, annotation, this is dev.railroad.id.railroad.id.sst.ast.annotation. I think we even have a nested package somewhere, don't we? Inside one of these? Thought we did, but maybe I imagined it. Yeah, we do. J9. dev.railroad.id.railroad.id.sst.ast.program.j9. Or even one of these, like dev.railroad.id.railroad.id.sst.ast.statements.switches. That's crazy. But anyways, it's fine. It is what it is. Eventually, I'm probably going to move the parser into its own project. Am I crazy, or do some of these look like they're different colors? Like, does the text of some of these look different colors, or am I losing the plot? Like, annotation type looks like it's a different color to annotation member. But maybe my eyes are just, like, dying. Does it look the same? It looks darker, no? No, maybe I am losing it, actually. Maybe they are the same. Okay. Ignore me. I am losing the plot. So, let's go into the semantic analysis. And... But my eyes are fine. I only had an eye test a few months ago. My eyes are fine. Okay, let's create a semantic analyzer. Is it Z or S? I don't know what the British spelling is, because I don't know which one's which. Z is the American, S is British. Okay, good to know. So we want S because I am British. Okay, so this is where things get really complicated, because I have to find a way to define a semantic analyzer. Which is kind of hard. Yeah, I don't know. Let me have a look at the good old document I created. I said document, it's just a GitHub issue. So if we look at this, basically, you can get a bunch of things back from the semantic analysis. But I guess primarily what it should do is it should put data into each of the nodes. The problem is it doesn't do that. The other option for what it could do is maybe each AST node stores like a semantic data class or something, which is like a struct effectively, or something like that, maybe. Because I don't think we want every single one of the friggin' AST nodes to have each of its individual possible semantic pieces of data attached to it. I think that would be silly. I think that's dumb, and I think it's completely and utterly unnecessary. So maybe an AST node should store some kind of semantic data. Yeah. The only problem with that, and it's kind of a pretty big problem, is all of these are records. So it can't just like... It can't have something else in it. And I don't particularly want to spend hours converting these all to classes. But I think, unfortunately, I'm going to have to. So... unless there's another way I can do this. You know what? Let's cheat again, guys. Let's do a little bit of cheating. So, let's ask, how should I handle semantic analysis? Should I attach some kind of semantic data to each of the AST nodes, or should I have some kind, because the other option is I have some kind of like semantic lookup where I can look up a node and grab the semantic data, which means it's not data attached to the node per se. It's more like a map, so a map of node to semantic data. That would save me a significant amount of time. So I suspect that's probably the best option, I imagine, of semantic data lookup, where I basically have a map of AST node semantic data? Or is there another better option? Let's see. I don't remember how I did this in my language. Let me have a look. The things that I didn't actually store semantic data in mine, so I don't think it's really going to help me. I'm gonna have a quick peek and see if I can see anything of use. Maybe I won't, but so here we go. Semantic analysis. If we look in here, basically I just had like I basically had a symbol table, which we'll need anyways. That's not really the same thing per se. That's basically like it maps a symbol to something. So it's like a lookup basically. But it's not quite the same per se. So let's see what it says. A great question. There isn't one right answer, but there are patterns that can make your life so much easier. Okay, there's a you know, it's kind of crazy. I have no idea what the word pragmatic means. I hear people say it all the time, and I have no idea what it means. It's kind of funny. I should probably learn what that means someday. But I've never been bothered to look it up and figure it out. I can't even figure it out from context. Like here's reasonable? Maybe? No, that doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. What does it recommend? So keep your AST immutable. Yeah, that's what I thought, because you don't want to have to add data to every single AST node. Like that's ridiculous, right? Give every node a stable node ID. Oh god, what do you mean a node ID? How? E.g. pre-order index or a persistent ID, but green/red tree. Okay. Right. Store semantic facts inside tables keyed by node ID or the node reference if stable. Expose them through a semantic model query API. Okay, that's kind of what I was saying. So basically having some kind of data lookup. Okay. It's interesting that it mentions like node IDs though. Like I don't know if that's correct or not, or if it's just like lying to me, you know? It very much could be making that up. And then build symbols types CFG. What the fuck is CFG? What is CFG? CFG. I have heard of it before. What is CFG? Is it like... I mean, I was thinking context-free grammar, but that doesn't make sense. Control flow graph. What does that mean? Oh, it means like the flow of the program, right? Is that what it means? Is that what that means? I think so. Like, if this, then do that, right? So it knows, like, it goes there to there, and then to there. Oh, and then it goes back to there. That's what it means, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. I have no idea how you construct one of those. You can tell I didn't get this far in my research, funnily enough. I barely got into types, to be honest, so... let's have a look. Yeah, whatever. I get that. That's a silly idea to do that. Why a side table? Yeah, whatever. Right. Prefer a node ID. I don't... How? Like, how? How am I determining the ID of a node? And it wants it as an int as well, so it's not even like it's a UID. Like, what is the int? I don't know what it would be. If you must key by object, weak hash map, sure, I guess that's reasonable. Int IDs are faster, sure. I mean, that's true, but like, what is the int? Is it going to tell me what the int is or not? It's incredibly unhelpful. A compilation contains side tables. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So basically, kind of actually, what I kind of did actually do this in my. I've already closed my my programming language, but I kind of did do it like that. At least for the part that I did, which isn't much, admittedly. So if you already use green-red trees, green is structurable. What? Okay, what is a green-red tree? That is a lovely question. Let's do a little bit of Googling. Okay, that is the least useful Google results I could have ever expected. Let me let me do something real quick so that I can actually Google this and show you guys the results without it doxing me. 1 second. If I do this. Okay, there we go. Okay. And that needs to be only VPN. And then I think that's worked. Okay, yes, it has. So wait, no, has it? I don't wanna bring this up on Google and find that it doxes me. You know, I'm just gonna do it on my I always forget that I have a friggin' stream browser, bro. Okay. Wait, no, not this one. Wait, is it this one? No, this one. Okay, I should be able to show this. I think. Yeah. I think. Okay. Here we go. This is what comes up when I search green-red trees. Nothing useful. Let's go programming. Maybe? You know, I probably learned about this in university and probably just completely and utterly ignored it. Because most of the stuff they taught us was complete and utter bollocks. So I ignored 99% of it. But it's possible there's like 1% of it which was this and is useful. Bro, what does that even mean? You've been blocked by network security? What? What do you even mean? Okay. Apparently it's... Okay, it's a C# thing, basically. Damn it didn't send my link. Try searching crafting interpreters. Yes, that is what I use for my programming language for university. It's very good, but it didn't really cover semantic analysis, unfortunately. Like it kind of did, but not really. And I don't think it was very good when it came to semantic analysis. It's black-red trees. I don't know what that is either. I've heard of it. That is not something I've ever learned, though. Once again, probably was taught to me at university. Probably one of those things I didn't... Like, I probably learned it, and I probably knew what it was, and then completely forgot it afterwards, because I thought, when am I ever going to need this? And then it turns out, oh, I need it right now. Okay, so if it's just red-black trees, red-black trees, I can find more information about that, I think. You know what? Let's just ask Big Man ChatGPT. Okay. Okay. So how do I figure out, or how do I calculate the node ID? Let's see. And then it should hopefully first decide what stable means for you. Per tree uniqueness only. Any unique ID inside one AST version is fine. And then edit stable handles. Good for IDEs. You want to re-identify nodes across small edits when structure/text is unchanged. What does it mean? I'm trying to think. You want to re-identify nodes across small edit. Okay, so I think it basically means if you edit a block of code, yeah, I think it means if you edit a block of code, but you still have like the same node somewhere in that code, it's able to re-identify that node because that specific node is still there, right? I think that's what it means, which isn't, it is indeed what I want, if so. Okay, so basically gonna ignore that one then, because that's not helpful. And instead look at this. So use a green tree, immutable, structurally shared, and a red wrapper, parent/positions. Give each green node a persistent ID once when it is created. A later pass structurally reuses that green node, because in the text that region didn't change, it keeps the same ID. In turn, green nodes, hash cons? What? Okay, well, what are these words even? Okay. It has put a bunch of words here that I do not understand. In turn, green. Okay, I know what green means, and I know what nodes mean, and I know what hash means. Hash cons? Mixed with intern? Maybe my English is not good enough for this. Dedupe structurally equal nodes. Okay, so that presumably that means deduplicate structurally equal nodes. And then keep an next green ID when a unique green node is created. Bro, I'm so lost right now. We even had a course on we had a module on freaking data structures. It's a shame I deleted all the I deleted all the resources we had, because I don't know why. It probably wasn't a good idea. I probably shouldn't have done that. But I can't like look back at it now. I vaguely remember something about trees, something about green or red or black or friggin' purple trees. I don't fucking know. Red nose wrap greens. Okay, I think I kind of get it. I just don't know how to actually structure this, if this is what I think it means. Because we don't have edits, is kind of the problem, right? I'm building this system without the actual editor, which possibly complicates things. Content / path hashes, okay, whatever. Span based keys, handle not an ID. Okay. You don't need cross version stability. Okay, if you do want stability across edits, adopt a green tree. And okay, what the fuck does it mean by freaking interns? Like, I know what an intern is, but that doesn't make sense in the context of friggin' trees and green and friggin' red. Unless it means something else, and like it could be short for something, like sometimes people use intern short for internationalization, but obviously that doesn't make any sense here. So it must mean something else. Okay, it knows I'm building an IDE though. I don't know why it's asking me which one, but sure, whatever. Okay, let's continue the conversation and then we'll figure it out from there. So let's say, I am building it for an IDE. So I want a green. What did it say? Green, red, or was it red, green? Does it matter? I don't know. Why did it even say that? Green / red. Okay. Okay. Let's see. It will now explain to me what they are. Okay, so a normal AST is mutable. Yeah, that's kind of a problem because the way I've designed it, it's actually not mutable. But let's ignore that for now. Because yeah, currently the AST kind of isn't mutable. Or is it? Wait, am I being dumb? No, it's not really mutable. But regardless. Mutable parent linked and loses structure on edit. If you read parser file after a keystroke, the whole AST is built. Every node's reference changes. All your semantic caches are invalidated. Sure. So that would be like no incremental parsing, right? Yeah, incremental parsing is nearly impossible. Yeah. So we need a tree that can share unchanged parts across edits, is immutable, is compact. Sure. So a green tree is fully immutable. Okay, no parent pointers or source offset. Purely structural. Each node stores its kind, children, and maybe trivia / text length. Okay. So if two subtrees are textually identical, they can literally be the same object in memory. Okay, I see. That makes sense. Sure. Each child knows its own width, not absolute position. No parent means it's safe to share. Okay, I see. So basically it means that you could have this same node multiple times in the same tree. Because it can be shared, because it doesn't have a parent. That makes sense, sure. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 is represented as add expression. Yeah, correct. If you edit 3 to 4, only that leaf and its ancestors are replaced. Yeah, that makes sense. The red tree. The green tree is too minimal for semantic and editor features. It doesn't know positions, parents, or file contexts. So you wrap it in a red tree layer at runtime. A red node wraps a green node, which adds the parent pointer, start, offset, file, and helper APIs. Created lazily when you navigate. Okay. Right. So they're basically constructed when you need them. Whereas the green tree is always there, but so the red tree is then constructed when you need that specific node. Okay. Yeah, which means it doesn't have to rebuild it every single friggin' time. It only builds it when you need it. Which makes sense. Sure. Okay. So... sure. Parser produces a new green tree. Okay. So it's semantic analysis. Yeah. Whatever. Sure. Don't care. So node identity. Each green node gets a unique persistent green ID when it's created. If an edit doesn't affect a subtree, that subtree's green ID stays identical. You can key your semantic hashes by file ID, green ID. Sure, so that's basically the node ID, right? Oh no, because the node ID is the green ID and the red ID? No, that can't be right. That doesn't make sense. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Your parser no longer directly builds AST node classes with parent links. It instead builds green nodes bottom up. So do I have to rewrite the entire friggin' parser? Is that what you're telling me right now? I think that's what it's telling me. This is highly unfortunate if that's true. Okay, but it can't be like... I can't have to rewrite the friggin' entire parser. There's a better way of doing that. So what is Kotlin's fir tree? What is this? It doesn't exist. Thank you, ChatGPT. Is that actually like a thing, or is it literally just made that up? It does actually kind of seem to be a thing. Okay, I think it's maybe a thing. But there's obviously nothing about it. Okay, so I'm just gonna straight up ask it. Because I don't think that would be true, right? Short answer, yes. That's what it's going to say. No? Also, holy cow, this is lagging friggin' my PC out like crazy right now. Or at least it's lagging my browser out. Like, oh my god. Okay, what's it said now? Short answer, no. Okay, I need to know what friggin' pragmatic means, because it keeps using this word and I don't know what it means. Dealing with things sensibly and realistically, in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. Okay, thank you. Now I know what pragmatic means. So, the practical migration plan. Why doesn't it just use practical then? That's a silly word. Whatever. Introduce node factory interface. Replace direct new AST node calls with a factory you pass into the parser. I don't understand. Interface node factory. Node token. Kind text. Node. Kind. I'm so confused. So yes, I do have to rewrite the entire freaking parser. Why didn't it just tell me okay. So yes, I have to rewrite the entire parser, is what this is telling me. Implement node factory with your current AST so I mean, yes, there's no behavior change. So like, sure, all of the behavior is still there, but like every single place where I have, so basically if I go into here, right, anywhere where I have return new, right, every single one of these 105 usages I have to replace. Plus, anywhere where I have something like this, expression left is equal this, I have to replace. Right, so anywhere that I have expression I have to replace probably about 100 of those. Same with statement as well, and same with AST node. which I don't have any of those anyways. But like, okay, basically I have to rewrite the entire friggin' thing, is what it's telling me. Implement node factory with your current AST constructors. Add a green factory that builds a mutable parentless green node. Now the same Parser logic can produce either your old AST or a green tree by swapping out the factory. What? I don't understand. So, okay, maybe I do understand. So I still keep my AST nodes, right? But I have to change how I construct the nodes. So I have to have a factory that constructs the nodes. So basically, I have to define... Okay, I think I understand. Yeah. So basically, that means if I wanted, I could still do it the way I have it. But then I could also do it a different way as well, if I wanted it to be a different way. So, okay, so 2 workable parts. Part 1, Parser. Keep your old AST for semantic analysis for a while. After passing to green... What? Run a green to old AST converter? What do you mean? What does that even mean? Then gradually move semantics to read green/red plus side tables. Path 2, cleaner. Point your binder/type checker at red nodes and all key semantics by green ID. Either way, the Parser does not read rewriting. It does though. It literally does. In either of these paths, the entire Parser needs rewriting. Effectively. I mean, not like from ground up, but it's still going to take a couple hours, I reckon. Yeah, we're going to have to do this at some point as well. We need to handle trivia. That's going to be horrid, by the way, guys. I hope you're ready for that. At some point, we're going to have to do that. And it's going to be fucked. It's going to be so fucked. It's going to fucking fuck. Like, it's actually going to be so bad. Because that will be a whole rewrite. That will literally take a couple streams to do that, probably. So that's going to be hell. Wait, I need to replace the Lexer as well? No. Surely not. No way I need to replace the Lexer as well. Right? What does the Lexer have to do with the price of baked beans? The Lexer is completely unrelated. Keep the Lexer out of this. Between you and me. I actually don't believe it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, so what do I have to do to this? For example. It's just going to be like, yeah, just fucking yeet the whole thing, is what it's going to say. I don't know why it's lagging so bad, by the way. Wait, maybe I do actually. 1 second. I might know why. Let me try again. I might know why. Okay, yeah. That has fixed it actually. Okay, good. So what does it said? Go on then. Your function is looping on a carrot which is X or not or. Oh, wait, is this wrong? I may or may not have done this one wrong. Wait. I think I've done this one wrong. I think it has actually just caught. Yeah, I've done it wrong. This one's right. But this one needs to be carrot. And this one needs to be pipe. That's kind of funny that it did just find that bug. That's kind of funny. Okay. So what's it said then? Okay, so node left is equal pass bytewise XOR expression. Node op is equal factory dot token. Node right is equal that, and then left is equal factory dot node. What? So no, not that one. This one. Okay, so basically, oops, did I just accidentally delete something? Okay, so what it's saying is this becomes this. Man, this is gonna be hell. But we're just gonna have to get on with it and do it, to be honest. I'm just gonna have to suck up the friggin' pain of doing this and just get it done. Hi Tati, I'm from Brazil and I really like the idea of creating an IDE to develop mods. Are you thinking of making a low-code IDE for practicality or an IDE that speeds up the process? I am planning to develop an IDE that speeds up the process, not a low-code IDE. So you will still be writing code. Like, we are not aiming for MC Creator, basically. We are aiming for... Do I have a comparison? No, I don't have anything to compare it to, because there isn't anything to compare it to. Basically something, I guess you could say something in between MC Creator and IntelliJ. Something in the middle. I think MC Creator is way too much hand-holding, right? But I think IntelliJ... Yeah, something in between them, but closer to IntelliJ than MC Creator. That's how I would explain it, basically. So it's in between MC Creator and IntelliJ, but closer to IntelliJ than to MC Creator. That's how I would explain what we are aiming for. Okay, let me delete this semantic and analyzer thing for a minute. Because we are gonna have to friggin' rewrite a lot of this first before we can do that. I also wanted to know if you would accept help. I'm studying computer in the last semester and I would really like to be able to participate. Yes, we do have a GitHub. Let me find the link where you can contribute. And we also have the Discord server, which I would highly recommend you join if you plan on contributing. Just because it makes it a lot easier for communication, and I'm trying to find the friggin' URL. Okay, there we go. There's the Discord as well. Yeah, I'd highly recommend you join that if you plan on contributing, because then it's easier for us to be able to discuss, you know, what needs doing, you know, just to stop like conflicts with things. You know, you don't want to work on something and then find out, oh, this person's already been doing that. Fuck, that was a waste of time, you know. So that's why it's helpful to join there and just like ask, and we can kind of, I'm sure, you know, anyone who comes and asks, no matter your skill level, we can probably find you something to do. It's just a matter of you need to come and ask, and we'll probably find something, because there are so many things that need doing. It's just a matter of finding people to do them. So that applies for anyone who wants to help out. Come in the Discord, look in the Railroad discuss or development channel. I don't know which one's better. Either one of them, to be honest. Look in one of those channels and just ask, what can I do to help? And we will probably find something, to be honest. I can pretty much guarantee that we will find you something. Because there are just so many different things that need doing. So more help the merrier. But I know we are only at 2 hours, but I think, to be honest, guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream a little bit earlier than normal, just because we're gonna have to do a lot to rewrite this. And I'm gonna go crazy if I have to do it today. To make up for it, maybe I will do a stream some point during the week. Thursday to Monday, I'm gonna be away, so there is not gonna be a stream next Saturday and Sunday. At least not a development stream. I might be live on like Twitch or something, maybe. I don't know. It kind of see how things go, but there is not going to be a railroad stream on Saturday and Sunday. But there might be one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not all three, to be clear, but one of those days there might be one, maybe. It might even be during the day instead of like later at night, possibly. I might do something like that instead. But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Obviously it is a little bit early, but I would say I hope you enjoyed. We didn't do a huge amount today, unfortunately, but yeah, we haven't done much at all, actually. But no, actually we have. 1 second, we can have a look before we... Okay, first of all, yes, this has been fixed as well. Okay, what we have done today, if we look at the history, we can actually see that we have done quite a bit. So we did this last time. We did all of these. So we fixed lambda bodies, right? Because those weren't working. So those have now been fixed. We have also... Okay, that's actually it. Is that it? Have we spent 2 hours fixing... Well, I guess we've spent the last, like, 45 minutes trying to figure out what we need to do for the semantic analyzer. So... we've made progress in knowledge. Knowledge is the progress we've made today, guys. We now understand how to make the semantic analyzer. That's progress, okay? Knowledge. Knowledge is power, is what they say. I think they say that. I don't know. I might have just made that up, to be honest. I'm not sure. But it's true. So, yeah, we're going to end it here. Those are committed. And yeah, as I say, there might be a surprise stream someday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe one of those days. Maybe 2 of those. Maybe all 3 of those days. I don't know. It depends how I feel. There will not be one on Saturday and Sunday, to be clear. I'm going to have to make sure those are not scheduled for those 2 days. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah. Good. Bye.